Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where last episode was shorter than expected, so we are ready to just dive right into it this episode. Let's hop into the command center and let's see what the toughest thing available is. It's still this attack and defend. You know what? Let's do it. No free priority salvages to be had here other than this one. We could sit here. I mean, it's an attack and defend, so the primary purpose is salvage. I think we'll sit here. It's not great, but we'll do it. We're ready to deploy this. It's a 6.5 skull, and Darius is going to yell at us, and Darius, he's wrong. Don't yell at us, Darius. We know what we're doing. So this is going to be in Highlands, attack and defend. It shouldn't be too bad. The real question is, do we want to wait for all of the lances? I mean, if we wait for all of the lances, this is probably going to be long enough that it's going to be a two-parter. But if we don't, if it's like last time and we take more damage than we'd like early on, we'll probably just destroy the base and get out of there, is what I think. But, I mean, if our armor's looking good and we can take them, then absolutely. Last time, we just took a lot more damage on the Salamander than I was comfortable with, and with the Salamander being one of our primary damage outputs, I just didn't want to have that be the... I didn't want to lose the MRMs, I didn't want to have the Salamander be out for a long period of time, and I didn't want the Salamander to not really be usable, because it at the time, was one of our absolute top-tier damage output mechs. To be clear, it is still in that category. But it's not irreplaceable now that the Magcat Mark II is in a similar boat, so... Things will be a little bit different this time. We'll just feel it out, see how it's going. May or may not be a two-parter. We'll see. Little sad that the loading screen hasn't loaded yet, that's for sure. But we'll see. There we go. Now it's loading. Fantastic. Maybe. There we go. So we need to defend the Davian base and destroy the local government base. Commander, our covert forces are poised to seize a local government prison facility where a large number of Davian personnel are being held prisoner. However, the facility is protected by a nearby military base, and as soon as we seize the prison, they'll move against it and reduce those buildings to rubble before they let us extract those people. We'll be moving our own mechs and leopards in as quickly as we can, but before we can land them and extract the personnel, we need you to pacify that military base. My read on the situation is that by personnel, they mean covert operatives. You don't hire mechs to cover the retreat of clerical staff. Indeed not. Let's go ahead and go here, just making sure that our frame rate is good before we hit the begin mission button to hopefully make sure that our materials are loaded. Looks good.
Interface initiated.
So this is our base that we have to defend. Do we have allies? Yes. Okay. That's good. And this is... Wait, where's the actual... Ah, here's the base we're attacking. Sounds good. So we'll deploy somewhere like... I would love to deploy like up here. That's not really an option. We'll have to deploy here and make our way up through this pass, which isn't necessarily ideal. It's a bit of tight quarters, and things could go a little sideways if they've got a bunch of artillery, but we'll see what they've got. As far as us, we see a Cascatel, which actually has a fancy new model. I like it. We see a Jess 2. Yep, eyes on enemy units. That's to be expected. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Okay, so we're immediately taking some fire. This is not surprising. Out here, we do see an Igor. Our ally, the Cascatel, fires on this Warhammer 2C. Does some damage to it. Not a whole lot, though. We see a longbow out there and what looked to be an Annihilator. Yep, that's an Annihilator. And another vehicle over there that really needs to get shot down. Okay, doing some damage to the Awesome. We are braced, but we don't get access to that sweet, sweet 6 evasive that they do, which is sad. However, our Orion can move up, and I would love to sprint to get into this cover. Okay, from here, the question becomes, who do we go for? The Warhammer 2C, only 30% hit odds. The Annihilator, 25%. Perhaps the Igor, 50% hit odds. Actually, yes. We're going to do this. The Igor only has dual LRM-20s. It's not that scary, but we have reasonable hit odds on it, and I'm not sure if... Actually, it shouldn't have AMS, so we might do decent damage to it here. I don't think we'll shoot it down, but let's see what we get done. We actually hit with the Gauss. Yeah, decent damage. Cool. So our ally is going to move now. We'll see what they do. Okay. That's an artillery tank. Got some damage done to that longbow. I don't hate that. And we'll see what they decide to do here. Now, they may have turrets. Up here, we see turret emplacements, but we don't see anything in here for turrets. They're firing on the Padilla. That's fine by us. Completely and totally.
Waiting for orders.
The Salamander is absolutely going to sprint forward as far as it can here.
Affirmative.
There's an Atlas out there. 26% hit odds. There's the Warhammer, 32. That's slightly better. There's the Annihilator, 21. And then there's the Igor, 26. I think our odds of shooting down the Igor are pretty good. Now, we could use Tandem and AX, but on these hit odds, I don't think it's worth doing it. We're going to use Improved. We're going to Warlord it. We're going to shoot at the Igor, and we could very easily take it down here.
Target confirmed.
I think we do take it down. Excellent. There goes the Igor. Now we don't need to worry about that. There is still their Cascatel over here that we do need to worry about. Okay, they've got artillery, but they're firing at our allies there. Yeah, I know. You're taking fire. That's because it's artillery. It's going to do that. The Awesome is going to move up here, and we'd love to get into cover, and in fact we can.
Affirmative.
We do have eyes on that Cascatel, but it's way out there, and that's unlikely to be of much good to us. Just checking these hit odds, which are not great for right now. Honestly, they're really not great. We're going to have to fire on the Corsair over here. We'll boost our hit odds with the Warlord, but we need to get closed in a little bit here. Did we fail our sensor roll? We are sensor impaired, but it's mostly target moved. Okay.
Engage.
Well, some of these guys... Ooh, we actually got good stray shots on that Annihilator. Good to know. Once these guys move a bit, then we'll be in a much better position.
Sensor locked.
Yep, that's to be expected. The Madcap Mark II is going to move up, and really its only target is this Warhammer 2C.
Firm.
It's not going to be great. We're going to Warlord it to help that a bit, but it's really not going to be great. We'll strip off what we can, but this is going to be a bit painful. Yeah, we stripped off a little armor there. It's not huge, but it's not terrible. Okay, so our ally is going to move here, and this is going to be the Manteuffel, which is going to also fire on that Warhammer 2C and not really get too much done. It did get 48 damage out there, though, which is not awful, actually. So the Warhammer 2C moves and does not fire.
Commander?
I really like that a lot. Now, I want to get this guy into position where he can fire flak on the Cascatel. That would be perfect, if possible. And this is one right here.
Will go.
So we're going to fire on that Cascatel in flak mode. 70% hit odds. We are expecting that it has AMS.
Target locked.
Beautiful hit there. And yeah, AMS just going ham, but that's okay.
Yep.
The Corsair is going to move up to... Let's see. Up to here. The only thing it can shoot at is the Cascatel, which is the perfect target here. We're going to fire our Gauss rifles. Hit odds are low, but we could theoretically take it down. Oof, I think we stray shot ourselves twice. No, we did not stray shot. No, we did. We stray shot. Gross.
Ordered.
The Mauler is going to sprint up over here. And we're going to fire on the Cascatel with the AA missile rack if we can. It's only 28%. I'm actually going to not do that.
What can I do for you?
The Boar's Head is going to head on up.
Pedal to the metal.
And we're going to hit that Cascatel just as hard as we can. We're going to Warlord it. And fire these in flak mode. Okay, let's see what we get.
Firing everything I've got.
Nice. Cascatel is down.
Should have run when you
That's
had the
exactly what we
chance.
wanted. Okay, phase 11. That's going to be this Atlas. Fires at our Padilla. Irrelevant. Don't care. Ally turn. The Jess 2 moves up, fires at the Atlas. And actually get some decent damage out there. I like it. They have a phase 9 mover. That's their Annihilator. Fires on that medium military building. Gets a few hits there. Okay, sounds good. Our friend the Cascatel moves up. Does not do anything of note. I think our Awesome is going to position here. And we could fire on that Atlas. We could also fire way out over this way. We don't have the greatest of LOS here, though, so we're just going to pot shot on the Atlas. We're not expecting too much here. Yeah, both PPCs missing there means that we get very little out of it. That's not surprising. It's way out there. The Padilla moves up, fires on the Annihilator. Doesn't get very much done there, in all honesty.
Receiving you.
Our Orion is going to move up, and that can fire on the Annihilator. It can fire on the Atlas. 43.4 on both. I think we're going to take the shot on the Annihilator.
Confirmed.
I don't want that Annihilator to get too much damage out. Some explosions going on up here. Okay.
Receiving
The Salamander is going to move up, and it is absolutely going to go for the Annihilator here. So the Annihilator is slightly out of range. Do we fire the Improved, or do we fire the Tandem AX combo here? I think we fire Tandem AX.
target acquired.
That was an incredible amount of damage to the Annihilator on like 50% hit odds. Okay, good to know that that is very effective. The Longbow moves up. It's going to use its indirect LRMs to fire on the Padilla. We don't care. That's fine. It can do that all it wants. The Grace moves up. This is a little spooky. It fires on the Padilla. We don't care. That's completely okay.
What do you need?
Our Corsair is going to move up ever so slightly here. I would like to see a better location, and we'll leapfrog it. That will be better. We'll fire on the Annihilator, and we could kill the Annihilator here, in all honesty. We'll see. I think at the very least as a knockdown. Heatsink destruction.
How?
And a knockdown. Perfect. So that Annihilator's not doing so well. It's been reserved back. Now they have two movers this round. And one of them is the Warhammer 2C. Our friend the Manteuffel moves up, and it fires on the Annihilator. I love this choice. It kills the Annihilator, and that is exactly what I would have asked for if I could communicate with the AI. The Warhammer 2C is going to step out and probably fire, on the military building. Okay, it didn't need to do that, in all honesty.
Ready.
Our Madcat Mark II is going to step forward. Now, the Madcat Mark II doesn't have the tandem ammo. It just has the standard, improved, and Apollo. We're just going to fire the improved ammo here for the increased hit odds, and we'll shred a lot of armor off of this Warhammer. Beautiful. And he is now unsteady as well. So that is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, the Shrek moves up. It's a plasma carrier, not a
Standing
PPC
by.
carrier. That's interesting. The Bull Shark is going to step up over here. The
Moving
question
out.
is, what do we want to hit with artillery? Maybe the Atlas? Probably in artillery mode, not in direct mode.
Engaging target.
That was a solid armor shred there. I like it.
Waiting on you, Commander.
The Boar's Head is going to move up, and it's going to do the same thing. It's also going to hit the Atlas here. Because that's much harder for our other mechs to hit, and I'd love to shred that armor.
All weapons
That'll be a
are
knockdown
go.
on the Atlas as well, which means it'll become easier to hit. That said, the Warhammer 2C is still probably the better target right now. But at the very least, we get a pilot injury on that Atlas, and shred off virtually half of its armor. I like the choice of firing on the Warhammer 2C here from our ally. That's very nice.
I'm receiving you.
And our Mauler is a ways out there, to the point where the
to position.
Warhammer 2C may not actually be the better target here. Actually, the Atlas is. We're going to try to core out this torso here and see if he's got a
Commander.
fancy engine or not. I don't think he does. Yeah, not too much there, but I think I heard a crit.
Oh, I like that shot.
Excellent. Okay, so what do they do now? The Atlas stands up. Okay, sure. That's fine. But he closes in a bit and fires on the Manteuffel. I don't care. This is fine. He can do that all he wants. Completely and totally okay.
There's work to do.
Phase 19, our ally Cascatel is going to move up. Firing on the Shrek, this is a reasonable choice, actually. I don't mind burning some armor off of that.
What's up, boss?
Now, the Orion is going to move up. I don't want it to go for the Warhammer due to its LRMs. So instead, we're going to pop out over here and hit the Atlas side arc. Now, I believe this is in its strong side. Yes, it is, but that's okay.
Engaging with target.
That Atlas doesn't have very much armor left in a lot of
Think I hit
locations,
something good.
so that's beautiful. Phase 16, the Padilla moves up and fires on the Shrek. That's okay. I don't hate that. Getting 48 damage in there. The Longbow moves up and fires on what? The building. Okay, that's a little less good. We're not super okay with that.
Let's do
The
this.
Salamander is going to close in here. I think since the Warhammer 2C is already so damaged... Oh, our tandems jammed this MRM-40? That's rude. I think we're just going to fire the improved MRMs here. I don't think we need to penetrate this armor very much. Yeah, that's a lot of internal damage and maybe a knockdown.
Report.
Yeah, that's a knockdown. A lot of double heat sink destroys, too. And this is a laser boat, so that Warhammer is actually pretty out of this fight. So that's great. The Grace moves up, fires on our Salamander. Gets a little damage in there, but honestly, that's not as bad as it could have been.
Heavy hits, Commander. Okay,
It
that was
it missed with its
bad.
primary artillery payload. So that's great. We're going to bring the Awesome out over here. The Awesome is going to continue to hit this Atlas. Even though hit odds aren't amazing on it, we're going to fire on this and see what we get.
Got it, Commander.
Ooh, missing both PPCs is sad. But okay. They're still having some AMS procking over here. The Shrek moves up, goes for the Cascatel. Flat misses. That's not surprising, considering that the Cascatel is running a stealth field generator.
Aye, aye.
We're going to move up with our Bull Shark.
Move order
And
confirmed.
honestly, the Bull Shark is going to go for the longbow here. Excellent. That's a kill on the Warhammer, as well as a good armor strip on the longbow. And our ally fires on the longbow as well, strips off a little bit more armor. The Madcat Mark II is going to want to move a bit forward here, although we're a little concerned about heat. We will sink heat for this. So I guess we'll go ahead and fire this on the Atlas. We're not expecting very much out of this, but we could get crits, in theory. And that does make him unsteady. He is going to move soon, though, so that's probably not that great. I would like to come out over this way and continue to hit him in this side arc. All armor damage there makes me sad, but it's okay. The Atlas moves now, and we'll see what it decides to do. Comes on forward, fires on the Padilla. We don't care. Completely and totally irrelevant. The Boar's Head is going to move up, and honestly, who do we shoot at? I think it's the Atlas. So he's now unsteady again, for sure. Wait. He's actually just gone. The Atlas is dead. Beautiful. The Jess fires at the Shrek. I really don't hate that.
I'm your spaniel.
The Mauler is going to move up over here. The only thing that it can really shoot at is going to be that Corsair. Yeah, I don't really like this angle. I think I'm just going to sink heat on the Mauler. Mostly because I don't want to stray shot the Salamander. The Cascatel moves up, goes for the Shrek. I love it. Keep hitting that Shrek. I would love to not have to deal with that thing.
Yes,
The Madcap Mark II is going to move up over here, and we could sink heat again. And I'm going to do exactly that.
Good to go.
At this point, the Orion can move on up. We're going to fire on the Shrek here. Reasonable hit odds. And we'll take those.
Engaging target.
We missed the Gauss rifle, but that's okay. Continuing to proc that laser AMS. That's exactly what I wanted there. And the Corsair can now step forward somewhere over here. These hit odds are quite bad. I don't want to hit the Salamander, so we're just going to brace and sink that heat. Now, the Salamander is going to step forward to here. It's slightly exposed. The Grace is completely fresh. We're going to fire this with AX rounds. We're going to Warlord it. Only AX, and let's see what happens here. This could do a ridiculous amount of damage to this Grace. Now, it does have that 20% damage reduction. It does have AMS. But we got a structure exposure plus 83 heat there. Prototype double heat sink destroyed. The longbow will move next, but the Padilla is going to fire on the Shrek. I like that a little less because it missed. I honestly think it should have shot at the Grace there. The longbow moves up and fires at the medium military building. There's a decent chunk of damage to it, but we're okay for now.
Yes, Commander.
The Bull Shark is going to step forward,
Moving to position.
and it's going to go for the kill on this Grace. Absolutely.
Firing on target.
Those AMSs still going off, but that's going to continue to raise up his heat. So the Grace moves up, fires on the Jess. He may shut down from this. Nope, just barely sinks to below, or actually just above the line. We're going to sprint the Awesome over here. The only thing it can really fire at is the Shrek. We'll take this shot.
Feel my wrath.
Okay, we missed a lot there, and laser AMS going absolutely ham on that Grace.
Good to go.
The Boar's Head is going to step over to... Actually, it doesn't matter where it goes, because we're going to go for the Grace again.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Thumper Artillery crit. Yeah, that's just a lot of damage to the Grace.
Critical hit, Commander.
More prototype DHS is blowing up. Phase 14 is the Shrek, of course. And it moves on in, goes for the Cascatel. Gives a little bit of damage on the Cascatel, but that's okay. Phase 13. The Manteuffel moves up, fires on that Shrek. That's beautiful. We love that.
I live to serve.
The Mauler is going to step forward over here. It
the
doesn't
way.
have LOS on the Grace. That's okay. We don't need it. We can fire on either of these, and we're going to Warlord and hit that longbow as hard as we can here.
Locking target.
Which is only moderately hard, sadly. That laser AMS still doing work, even though the Grace has very, very little, heat sinking left. Laser AMS still going off. Structure exposure on the Shrek, though. That's good. And now our Salamander is going to step forward. Once again, we're rocking the AX rounds. And we're going to hit this longbow. And this is going to do a lot.
Here we go.
One dead longbow. Beautiful.
Commander.
Next, our Orion is going to step forward, but I don't think to here. Can we sprint and get an LOS on that Grace? I would love it if we could. The answer is no, but we can sprint and get a decent LOS on the Shrek. And this should definitely kill this Shrek. Indeed. And the laser AMS is still going off on that Grace. That heat is really up there.
Yes, Commander.
The Awesome is going to come on forward. I don't think we can quite get into a good position to hit that Grace, but we could just lob some LRMs at it, cause it to heat even more with the laser AMS and the regular AMS. Cool. Cascatel moves up, fires on the Grace, gets a torso destruction, pilot injury.
Awaiting orders.
The Bull Shark is going to
Will
step
go.
forward. Kaboom. Leg destruction there. Sadly, not a direct hit with that long tom.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Corsair would be next.
Heading out.
I don't think that that's an LOS on the Grace. No, it is not. But we can fire on this medium military building back here.
Attacking from position.
There we go.
Waiting for orders.
The Mauler is going to step on forward. And once again, it can't really do anything other than fire at this medium military building. And so we shall. We're not going to fire one of our ER large lasers to not build heat. But that's otherwise completely good. The Padilla moves up. Should have fired on the Grace, but it did not. The Grace is going to fail a shutdown override from just moving. I like it.
Good to go.
The Madcat Mark II can make its way on forward. It doesn't really see any targets to hit, but that's okay. Mantufel going for the Grace. This could easily be a kill. Gyro XL crit there. And an ejection. Perfect. So that's all the defenders and attackers gone. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, and I think we're going to do that and take these 3 reinforcement waves. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.